my dear learners, for this course on Design of Machine Elements 1. Let us continue our discussion on design for static strength, which we were discussing in our module 1. The problem number 4 of our discussion states that a mild steel bracket shown in figure is subjected to a pull of 10 kilonewtons. The bracket has a rectangular cross section whose depth is twice the width. If the allowable stress of the material is 80 megapascal, determine the cross section of the bracket. So this is the diagram given for us for the cross section. Width is B and depth is H. It's a rectangular cross section which is subjected for a load inclined at an angle of 60 degree, which is acting at the pin shown here, whose magnitude is 10 kilonewtons. Now I want to find the value of B and H. Let us solve this problem. So solution for problem number 4. Now if you observe the load, I can resolve this load vertically as well as horizontally. If I resolve the load vertically, so this is the section I have, this is the centroidal axis. For the centroidal axis, the vertical load will become orthogonal. So therefore, the vertical component of this force 10 kilonewton will cause pure bending. If I resolve this force horizontally, then the load will be acting here. So this is the centroidal axis for the cross section. The horizontal component of this load will cause the eccentric loading for this case. So for eccentric loading, we already know that we should use both direct stress as well as the bending stress. So therefore, vertical component of force 10 kilonewton will cause pure bending, whereas the horizontal component of this force 10 kilonewton will cause both bending as well as direct stress. This is because of the reason the load will become eccentric loading case. Let us do that. So first, let me resolve the force vertically. So vertical component of force, if I take, now the problem will become like this. So here we have the cross section, which is rectangle for us, and the force is acting like this. Now this component will become FB. So therefore, from the question we can determine the value as FB is equal to F cos of 60 degrees. Therefore, the vertical force FB will be, force is 10 kilonewtons. So therefore, F is 10 kilonewtons into cos of 60 degrees, which will be equal to 10 to the power of 4 into cos of 60 degrees, which is turning out to be 5000 newtons. So now if you clearly observe, this is causing pure bending because this is the centroidal axis of the cross section and the line of action of force is orthogonal to the centroidal axis. Hence, this is the case of pure bending. Therefore, stress induced due to vertical component of force will be equal to pure bending stress. So therefore, stress induced due to vertical component of force will be equal to bending. The equation is already known to us, which is mb into c by I. So if I do calculations, I will get mb as mb is equal to force into distance from fulcrum. Force is already known, Fv into distance is 150 mm given for us. So therefore, mb will be equal to 5000 into 150, which is turning out to be 75 into 10 to the power of 4 Newton millimeters. Now coming for the value of C is h by 2. So C is the distance of the outer fibers from centroidal axis. For this section, Ci, which is equal to Co, are all equal to h by 2. So now in the question itself, he has specified that the allowable stress for the material, that is allowable stress for the material is 80 megapascals and depth is twice the width. So if I substitute that, I'll get the answer as 2b by b. So therefore C is equal to b. And coming for moment of inertia, for rectangular cross section, we already know that I is equal to bh cube by 12. If I substitute and simplify, I will get b of 2b whole cube by 12, which is equal to 2 by 3 b to the power of 4. If I substitute all these values to this equation, I will get the stress induced due to vertical component will be equal to MB is 75 10 to the power of 4 into C is B divided by I is 2 by 3 B to the power of 4. So therefore stress induced due to vertical component of force is equal to 112.5 into 10 to the power of 4. 112.5 into 10 to the power of 4 divided by b cube. Let us take this as equation number 1. So this is the value of stress induced due to vertical component of force. Now let us consider the horizontal component. If we consider the horizontal component of force, horizontal component, if we consider Fh is equal to F sin 60 degree, which is equal to 10 to the power of 4 into sin 60, which is equal to 866. Now the problem will become like this. Here we have the horizontal force as 8660 newtons. The distance of the load line from the centroidal axis is defined as eccentricity E, which is specified for us as 200 millimeters given in the question. We have the cross section here. This is width B and this is depth H. Now if you observe, this is the case of eccentric loading. So for eccentric loading, that is load line is parallel to centroidal axis with eccentricity E. For eccentric loading, the stress induced due to horizontal force will be the sum of direct stress plus bending stress. So therefore stress induced due to horizontal component will be direct stress, that is F horizontal by area, plus bending, that is MB into C by I. Let us calculate individually. F horizontal is known to us. The area of the cross section is B into H. H is equal to 2B, so therefore it is 2B square. Coming for bending moment, force into eccentricity is Fh into eccentricity. Fh is 8,660 into 200. So therefore bending moment will be 1732051 Newton millimeters. So this is the value of bending moment. Now coming for C and I will remain same. C is already calculated, which is distance of the outer fiber from centroidal axis, h by 2, which is equal to 2b by 2 given, which is equal to width. Now I is equal to bh cube by 12. So therefore b into 2b cube by 12. So I is equal to 2 by 3 b to the power of 4. Now substitute all the values to this equation. I get stress induced due to horizontal component of force is equal to, force is 8,660 divided by area is 2b square plus MB. MB is the bending moment, that is 1732051 into C is B divided by I is 2 by 3 b to the power of 4. So take it as equation number 2. Now if you observe, we have resolved the force 10 kilonewton inclined at an angle of 60 degree to vertical and horizontal, and we have found out what is the stress induced due to vertical force and what is the stress induced due to horizontal force. Now the total stress induced due to this force 10 kilonewton inclined at an angle of 60 degree is because of, or the sum of, stress induced due to vertical force and stress induced due to horizontal force. So therefore, clubbing these two, I will get the total stress induced due to vertical plus stress induced due to horizontal. So therefore, total stress is nothing but allowable stress, which is equal to 80 megapascals. Stress induced due to vertical component of force is 112.5 into 10 to the power of 4 divided by BQ, plus horizontal component of force is 8660 by 2b square plus 1732051 into 3 by 2b cube. So if I solve this equation, I will get the value of b. Since this is a cubic equation, let us formulate the cubic equation, that is throughout multiply by b cube. If I do that, I will get the answer as 80 b cube is equal to 1125000 plus 8660 by 2, which is 4330 b plus 1732051 into 3 by 2, which is equal to 2598077. Now rearranging the terms, we will get the value as 80 b cube, we don't have b square term, plus 0 b square minus 4330 b minus 3723077 is equal to 0. So therefore, solving this cubic equation in equation mode, I will get the value of b as 80 0 minus 4330 minus 3723077. So b values are, b1 is 36.47, b2 is imaginary, and b3 is also imaginary. So therefore, adopting the correct value, so therefore adopt b as 37 mm, hence depth h is equal to 37 into 2, which is 74 millimeters. So this is the solution for the given problem for us, that is for problem number 4. One clear observation to be made here is, if I take the sections as AB here and also here, if you observe, the vertical component of force will cause tensile bending at point A, whereas compression in point B. So here if you consider, the horizontal force will cause direct stress for both, direct tensile stress for both A and B, whereas for bending, for A it is tensile, for B it is compression. So the key observation is that for point A, both vertical as well as the horizontal are causing tensile stresses only, that is tensile bending and tensile direct stress. Hence, what we have solved is for point A, that is for inner fiber. So for inner fiber, if I consider for B, then this will become negative, and here this will become negative. So if I solve for point B, then this should be minus, and here this should be minus. Hope the concept is clear. Let me pause this video for a while so that you people can copy it down. Later we will solve problem number 5. Now, moving for problem number 5. Problem number 5 states that a bar of 50 mm diameter fixed at one end is subjected to a torsional load of 1 kN meter in addition to an axial pull of 15 kilonewtons. Determine the principal stresses if the length of the shaft is 250 mm. So let me draw the diagram for the description what he has given so that it will give us the clear intuition for the problem. So coming for problem number 5, we have a shaft fixed at one end. So let me take it as an horizontal shaft fixed at one end. So since it is a shaft, so we have specified the diameter. Diameter is 50. It is subject for a torsional load of 1 kilonewton meter. So he has applied a torque of 1 kilonewton meter in addition to an axial pull of 15 kilonewtons. So along the axis we have an axial pull 15 kilonewtons. Determine the principal stresses if the length of the shaft is 250 mm. So length of the shaft is 250 mm is what he has given for us. Now, if you clearly observe, this is the problem having direct plus torsion. This is because of the reason the force is coaxial with centroidal axis. So this is the case of, this is combined direct and torsional loading. So let us solve this problem. Now coming for direct stress. So direct stress is known to us sigma direct is force by area. Force is 15 kilonewtons. Area is pi d square by 4 for circular cross section. Pi into 50 square by 4. So it is turning out to be 15 into 10 to the power of 3 into 4 divided by pi into d cube, 50 cube. So direct stress is pi d square by 4. Direct stress is turning out to be 7.64 megapascals. Now coming for torsional stress. Torsional shear stress. If I consider the torsional shear stress for circular member is already known to us, which is 16T by pi d cube. This formula people already know for circular cross section specimen, which is obtained from tau is equal to T into R by J. From the general equation where R is d by 2, J is pi d power 4 by 32. Coming for T is in kilonewton meters. I should take it in Newton millimeters. So T is 1 kilonewton meter, which is equal to 1 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton meter, which is equal to 1 into 10 to the power of 3 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton millimeters. So therefore torque is 10 to the power of 6 Newton millimeters. Hence the shear stress is 16 into 10 to the power of 6, 16T by pi into V cube, 50 cube. So therefore torsional shear stress will be 16 to 10 to the power of 6 divided by pi into 50 cube. That is 40.74 megapascals. So this completes direct stress and torsional shear stress. He has asked us to calculate the principal stresses. We know the formula for principal stresses. So maximum principal stress sigma 1 is sigma d by 2 plus square root of sigma d by 2 whole square plus tau square. So sigma 1 will be sigma d is 7.64 by 2 plus root of 7.64 by 2 whole square plus tau is 40.74 square. Hence sigma 1 is, that is 44.74 megapascals. Now coming for minimum principal stress sigma 2, that is sigma d by 2 minus root of sigma d by 2 whole square plus tau square. So minimum principal stress will be minus 37.1 megapascals. If you want, you can also find the maximum shear stress. Tau max is equal to root of sigma d by 2 whole square plus tau square, which is equal to 40.92 megapascals. So this is the solution for the given problem. Maximum principal stress is 44.74. Minimum principal stress is minus 37, which is compressive, and maximum shear stress is 40.92. So this completes problem number 5. That's all from this lecture. Thank you all.